Hey friends, Maxie here. So glad to have you here with me today for seated chair yoga. Before we get started, a few gentle reminders. This is your class, time that you've carved out of your day, so really make sure that you're taking what you need. That might mean making a different variation of a pose, making it harder or less challenging. And that also might mean just sitting here and breathing. So really taking the time to honor what it is that you need today. And we'll start with some breath work. And so I want you to get quiet, let all the air out of your belly on an exhale. Maybe you soften the gaze or close the eyes. And we'll inhale with a cannon O shape in the breath of the mouth. And I want you to exhale out the nose, nice and slow. Inhale with the O cannon breath. Exhale out the nose, nice and slow. As we move, I want you to keep this breath with you today. Thinking about those slow inhales and an even slower exhale. Can you let your exhales be longer than the inhales? Letting the nervous system know that it's safe to reset. So take a few more breaths here. Exhale out the nose. And we'll get started with some seated stretching. So you'll bring the arms out in front of you and then lift the wrists, fingertips up, gaze goes up. As you exhale, gaze goes down, fingertips point down. Inhale, lift, gaze up. Exhale out, gaze down, fingertips down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Now roll the wrists out. And we'll move on to some seated side stretching. So hands can be out in the air. Hands can always be rooted to the chair to give you some leverage to work with. So whatever is easier for you, I'm going to take it off of the chair today. And I'm going to inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, reach right arm over to the side and stretch. Inhale up. Exhale, we'll reach over to the left arm, over to the left, and breathe. Now we'll switch sides. Inhale up. Now we'll bring the right hand to outside of the left knee and we'll take a gentle twist. Torso comes up, we twist over to the side. Maybe your hand's on the side of the chair, maybe it's on the back of the chair, depending on the depth of your twist. But as you inhale, think about finding length through the spine. Crown of your head reaches up. And on the exhale, you twist. Twist at the waist. We'll release. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, we'll go over to the side. And we'll take the left hand, twisting. And you notice maybe side to side that things are different. And that's okay. Maybe the neck is involved and you look over the right shoulder. and release back to center. Now we'll move forward with some cat and cows. And we'll do this with an eagle arm variation. So you'll have two different options, eagle arms or a yogi hug, but I'll get you set up both ways. So we'll inhale, reaching the arms up overhead. On the exhale, we'll wrap the right arm underneath the left. You're going for a yogi hug, arms stay, you wrap around the shoulders and you're holding yourself. If you want to try out eagle arm, the only thing that changes is that the forearms come to touch rather than wrapping around. Maybe even the palms touch. There might be space between, it might not look exactly like I do, but if you're somewhere in between, that's perfect. Now we'll stay here, and on the inhale, the chest goes forward, the arms goes up, the gaze goes up. As we exhale, we round, we crunch, elbows come into navel. Chin tucks into chest. Inhale, up. And exhale, down. Inhale, up. And exhale, down. Now we'll unwind the arms and we'll go over to the other side. Deep inhale. Now on your exhale, this time the left comes underneath the right. And maybe you find that yogi hug, or you're trying to have the forearms touch, the back of the palms touch. And you want to think about lifting this up rather than letting it settle. So we'll work through cat and cows on this side. Inhaling, gaze up, chest up. Exhale, round down. Inhale, lift, pushing feet into the earth. Exhale, round and crunch, coming into a small ball. Inhale, elbows lift, gaze lifts. And exhale, round. We'll stay here for a moment, squeezing everything into that midline, just noticing the space that exists behind the shoulders. Deep breath in. On the inhale, unwind. Out, reach up, nice and spacious. Hands come into center. We'll let the thumbs press into the sternum and the sternum press into the thumbs. And I'll call you to soften the gaze or close the eyes here. We'll set a brief intention for class. So here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're celebrating the fall equinox. And you can tell, right? The days are getting shorter. It's getting colder. And there's really this need to turn inward. And so maybe your intention is to just honor that, honor the changing seasons. And maybe your intention is to let go of something you've been holding on to, right? Something that's no longer serving you, so that you can rest, you can move into the next season. Whatever you're calling to mind, bring that in. Take a deep inhale through the nose, filling up. And on our exhale out, we let it go. We release it into the universe. Beautiful. And now we'll flow through our Sun A. We'll walk this through nice and slow, and then we'll speed it up. If you have blocks, I recommend setting them maybe in front of your feet, maybe to the side. So kind of see what works for you. You always have the option to use blocks over reaching for the ground or the shins. It's just another option. So hands are at heart center. You have any props that you might need. And we'll move and flow through Sun A. Hands come out to Tadasana. On an inhale, arms sweep up. Maybe your gaze looks up if that's comfortable. Nice big inhale. As we exhale, we let the hands come through forward, bowing. Maybe hands touch the earth, maybe they touch blocks, forward fold. Now hands come to shins or the blocks as you inhale. Halfway lift, find a flat back. As you exhale, you release, you fold forward once again. Inhale, arms out and up. Torso comes back. And exhale, hands at heart center. We'll move a little bit quicker. Tadasana. Inhale. Exhale, hinge forward. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms out wide. Reach, reach, reach. Inhale. Exhale, hands through heart center. Last round. Inhale, arms reach up. Gaze goes up. Hinge forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, arms out wide. And exhale, hands through heart center. Just take a moment and breathe. Notice the changes, the shifts in your energy, just from connecting with the breath for a few minutes. All right, we'll move on. I'm going to move the blocks out of the way, and you'll plant into your left foot and extend your right foot out. Now, I want you to think of the same thing we did with the wrist. So the foot lifts up, and then it points down. It lifts up and points down. Up and down. Now, hands can stay on the thighs, hands can go out, hands can come to the chair. Round into the left foot and lift the leg up and lower down. I'm going to scoot a little bit forward so that this is a little bit more difficult for me. Lift up and lift down. Now we point. Lift up and lift down. And I'll show you from this side, we don't want to round as we pull, right? We're having a flat back, letting the core, the hamstrings, the thigh do all of the work for us here. So if you find yourself rounding, you go lower, right? You don't need a lot to feel this one. All right, we're coming back. You're keeping them up, going at your own pace. Maybe your arms are all the way out. Maybe they're on the chair. Last one. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna stretch this leg out. So we're gonna take a figure four. So that might look like this. You open the hip, open the knee and you prop the foot on top of the left foot. If you want more sensation, you can work it all the way up until you come to figure 4 with the ankle across the left knee. So this is just another variation. Beautiful. Wherever you are, find the breath. If you still want more sensation, maybe you bring the arms up. Figure 4. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Arms down. Maybe you pick the foot up and bring it back down to the earth. And you just windshield wiper the legs. In and out. And we'll get to the other side. So right foot plants into the earth. Left foot extends out. Come to the edge of your seat if you want to feel more sensation and have less support. And then you'll pick up the foot and you'll flex it. And then you'll point. Flex and point. And I'm already feeling heat build in my leg, right? So this might be enough. Maybe you stay on the earth and you point and you flex. But if you're ready, you start to lift that leg up and lower it back down. And you might notice that I'm not pointing or flexing, but I am choosing one or the other. I'm not telling you which one to do, but you do either want to point or flex and stick with whichever choice you've made. Now I'll show you from this side here one more time. Right, when we're working on these, we don't hinge forward to pull up the leg. We have the core engaged. If we need more support, we're rooted and we lift up. We let the thigh do the work and not the core and not the back. We don't let the back, the core and the thigh, right? That's who is picking that leg up. We have got a few more reps. And maybe this is a time where you're sitting and breathing, taking a break and coming back. All right, last one. Maybe arms are out and release. We'll move to figure 4. Maybe the foot comes across. And look, you can see a backwards figure 4 right on the screen. Or maybe the ankle comes on top of the right knee. And you have the foot flexed and you feel this, right? This opening in the hip. So if you're somewhere along that range, you're going to feel this opening, that stretching. And maybe you want to take a different arm variation. Arms can be out. Arms can be up. Maybe touching. Deep breaths, figure 4. We'll release. We'll let those arms come down. Let the leg come down. We'll just windshield wiper, right? Bring sensation, some relief back into the legs. We're going to take camel next. So I'm going to show you this from the side because you might have a back on your chair like I do. And sometimes it can be helpful, but sometimes it can be harmful if we don't want to go as far back. So both hands will come behind you. And then I want you to think about just pushing the chest forward. So if you're here, this is camel. You can push further, push the chest back, push the hands more into the chair and push the gaze up so the throat opens. And this is also camel. So anywhere along this spectrum is where we want to be. And if you sit in a desk, if you drive a car, this is great for you, right? This is the opposite of what we do all day. So if it feels intense, just know you need more of this chest opener. And stay with the breath a few more seconds. All right, let that go. Come back to neutral. And just round forward to counteract that. And we'll come back up to a seat. Really good job. So I'm going to introduce a new posture for us today, and it's called high lunge. So I want you to stay back on your seat and bring your right leg out to the right side. And then your left leg is going to come back behind. And maybe you push yourself back. Maybe you're completely balanced on the chair with your pelvis. But for me, it feels a little bit better to have my right thigh on the chair and for my left leg to be a little bit off. So we're here in a high crescent lunge. Both feet are pointing forward. And I'm going to toe heel my foot a little bit to the right so that I feel like both of my hips can also be pointing forward. So for me, this is enough. Being here is enough. I feel it in my right thigh. I feel it in my hip flexor extending back and the left thigh. And I'm going to stay here, but maybe your hands come to center. Maybe they reach up. We're here for a few breaths. Now we'll release, come back to center. We'll be coming to a wide-legged forward fold. So I want both feet to be angled out, both knees bent. And we'll just take some shoulder dips. So dipping the left shoulder in towards the center and the right. I can hear my back cracking. And just getting a little bit of more mobility into the spine. These can move as slowly or as quickly as serves you. Beautiful. Nice. And now we'll switch. We'll go the other way for our high crescent lunge. So maybe you get the front leg squared away first, left leg forward, bent. And then you can come back, extend. Do this. Extend that back leg. And this may be a more challenging posture for you. It could depend on your chair. I feel it in the front of the thigh and the back of the thigh. So, right, we're giving ourselves that ability to stretch both ways at the same time. Big breath in. Maybe hands are at heart center. Maybe hands reach up. Or hands can simply support you, support your base. We're here a few more breaths. All right, we'll release back to center. I like to use both of my hands. Bring that back leg in. Beautiful. We'll come together, just catch our breath, both feet planted, arms down, palms forward, and our Tadasana. Spine long, crown of your head reaching towards the sky. Maybe you soften the gaze or close the eyes and let the breath catch up. right. Our last posture for today is going to be bound angle. So you can always take a block if you need to bring the floor closer to you and bring one foot out. You're on the toe edge of the foot, and bring the other foot out, and you're here in this bound angle. Always an option to do this directly on the floor without the block. Just a little bit more comfortable for me to have the support of the block. So different options. We'll stay seated here, or you'll start to round forward. Maybe hands come to the ground. They can be anywhere along the legs or on the block. And we just release and breathe. Just noticing what you notice. Maybe what's changed since the beginning of class. Maybe the thing that you've been holding on to is much easier to let go of after some movement, after some connection with the breath. And maybe it's still there, but it's softened. Maybe you're coming closer to acceptance. And that's really the beauty of this practice. Sitting in our discomfort can help us off the mat as well as on the mat. Now, maybe you release the block, bring both feet back to the earth, and slowly roll up the spine, one vertebra at a time, till you come to seat, letting the shoulders roll up and back, up and back, up and back. You can scoot back into your seat. Bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly, and soften the gaze. If that's comfortable, if that's in your practice. And we'll return to that same breath that we started class with. We'll make an O mouth or cannon breath. And you'll inhale. And you'll exhale out the nose. Inhale, cannon breath. Exhale out the nose, soft and slow. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let it go. All right, my friends. This is where I'll leave you. Feel free to stay as long as you want. I always recommend meditate, some quiet meditation for about 5 minutes after you practice to really let everything sink into the body. It's such a pleasure to lead you, to guide you. The light within me honors, respects, sees the light within each of you. If you've been enjoying class, you can always hit the like button or hit subscribe if you'd like to see what else is coming out. See you soon.